problem that I'm having is I have massive hot and cold spots throughout my house. I'll have the thermostat set at 72 degrees and some rooms will get all the way up to 81 degrees during the day. And the question that I have is, can a $20,000 fully variable speed HVAC system solve some of these problems? Well, I'm going to be data logging multiple rooms so we can actually get some empirical data on this. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. That will really help me out with the algorithm. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Alrighty, let's get after it. On the left of the screen, we are changing out our 4-ton Amana heat pump. This system is only 4 years old and is worth about $10,000 installed brand new today. And the system that we're going to be changing out with is a fully communicating Carrier Infinity system that is also a 4-ton heat pump, which goes for around $20,000 installed brand new. On the right of the screen, I am showing you the temperature and humidity data log reports, which is for the single stage system. And the first thing I'm going to show y'all is one of the most similar days to after the Infinity was installed, meaning the outdoor temperatures were very similar on those 2 days. After we do a quick rundown, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison in between the single stage and the Infinity system. And the last thing to note is my current ductwork is only good for 3 tons of airflow. So we have 3 tons of ductwork with a 4-ton system. So we're really dealing with a worst case scenario here. And I'm going to leave all the ductwork alone just to see how the Infinity does in a worst case situation. And if you're interested in learning how to fix a bad ductwork design, you might want to watch this video next. Now I do have a big favor to ask of y'all. Everything that we do in these videos comes out of our own pocket, and we don't make any money from doing these videos. So we don't have any sponsors, and we have the ads turned off, so we don't make any money on the ads either. So if you find yourself in our service area in Texas, all I ask is if you ever need your HVAC system replaced or serviced, that you give us an opportunity to earn your business. And if you're outside our service area, you can still help us out too by liking this video and leaving a comment. That way this video reaches more people. Okay, so let's go back to our spreadsheet. The days that we're looking at here is September 10th, and this graph here represents the downstairs by the thermostat, and the one under is the upstairs common area, and so on. On the 10th, the high that day was 92 degrees, and the low was 64 degrees. The humidity levels range from 88 to 29%. Let's take a look at the downstairs real quick. You can see that the dead band, or the temperatures highs and lows, is ranging about 4 degrees. And at the lowest temperature points, it's hitting around 70 degrees. And at the highest temperature points, it's hitting around 75 degrees. So about a 5-degree swing on this day. The humidity levels are maintaining around 53%. Now let's take a look at the upstairs common area. We can see that the lowest temperature point got to around 69 degrees. And at the high point, around 77 degrees. So we're looking at around an 8-degree swing throughout the day. The humidity levels go up around 55% on both days, and down around 48% humidity. So around a 7% fluctuation in humidity. Now let's take a look at my bedroom. We're not going to worry about the humidity levels in this room, because this spike right here, I'm pretty sure somebody was taking a shower and didn't turn on the fart fans. And you can see at some points throughout the day, the temperature swing is only around 2 degrees. And that's because we're running a fan in that room. And the temperatures range from 70 degrees all the way up to around 75 degrees. So around a 5-degree split overall. Now let's take a look at my daughter's room where we're having all the trouble. She would complain all the time about how hot her room would get. And I was like, it can't be that bad. Now I realized that she was sleeping in a torture chamber because the temperatures were ranging from 71 degrees all the way up to 80 degrees. So around a 9-degree difference throughout the day. And the humidity levels are ranging from 55% all the way down to 45%, which is a 10% swing throughout the day. And the reason why her temperature splits are around 1.5 degrees is because she's running 2 fans in her room. Her overhead fan runs on high, and she has another fan directly on her. So it's like a whirlwind in there mixing up all the air. That's why the temperature splits aren't that big. Now let's take a look at my son's room. And he's not running a fan in his room, so he's coming out to around a 4-degree split. And his temperatures range all the way down to 68 degrees, all the way up to 76 degrees. So a 6-degree swing throughout the day. Now let's do a real quick recap before we jump into the Infinity results. Once again, I'm using September 10th as our example, and these yellow spaces here are where I had the data loggers located. I did have a data logger in the guest room, and I accidentally reset it before I pulled all the information off of it. The downstairs data logger is pretty much what I would expect since it's right by the thermostat. The master bedroom was the next best performing area, followed by my son's room, and the upstairs common room and my daughter's room is not looking too hot, or is too hot, however you want to look at it. Now let's see if an Infinity system can improve these temperature and humidity swings. Alright, so here's our Infinity data. The biggest thing to note is we did install the system in October, and there's a full month difference in between the single stage data and this data. However, we did have a fairly warm October, so we do have some days that are fairly comparable in temperature and humidity. I would have liked to have it installed in September, but we were still busy, and we had paying customers, so the install kept getting bumped week after week, but we got it done. I do have more days data logged than what I'm showing here. However, I didn't include them because I was playing with settings and other things. For example, I drove down the temperatures all the way down to 55 degrees in my bedroom before the system went into freeze protection mode and turned off the compressor, so I'm only leaving in the most relevant days to this test. Alright, so here's our side-by-side comparison in between a 4-ton single-stage system and the Infinity system. There is a 1 to 2 degree difference in between these 2 days, in between the high and the lows. The biggest difference in between these 2 days is probably the humidity levels, 88% on this day and 80% on this day. The lows are fairly similar to each other. The other thing to note in regards to the Infinity settings, it's set on comfort mode at 72 degrees, and I did not adjust any of the other settings. And you can see that it's running a 1.5 degree deadband. And I didn't adjust the factory settings, which is a 2 degree deadband, and I can actually lower this even further, making these temperature swings even tighter. Or if you're crazy, I think you can raise it up to like a 6 degree deadband. I didn't play with any of the humidity settings either. In my house, the humidity levels always maintains in between 60 and 40%, so it's already considered ideal for comfort. That being said, I don't know how much it's going to try to drive down humidity because it's already fairly ideal. So we really just installed it and turned it on at 72 degrees. The other thing to note is how we use our house. We use the downstairs and upstairs common area throughout the day, meaning the time frame when the temperatures are most important to us throughout the day is between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. And for the bedrooms, we don't use them too much throughout the day. However, at nighttime around 9 p.m. all the way up to around 6 a.m. are the most critical times for temperature when we're sleeping. I do want to clean up a topic real quick about a video that I did a couple years ago, and it mentioned how these systems never turn off and can potentially create humidity issues. And that's because at the time I was still pretty young in the residential space of HVAC, so I had to lean on people who I considered industry experts. And I've heard that comment from multiple people who've been in the industry for more than 25 years. And I didn't have any connections with the factory, so I went with it. And certainly that might have been the case way back when. If it once was, it's just simply not true anymore. These systems do indeed cycle on and off. And my experience has been, as this system is running, it's running at a very low speed. Meaning if you're standing under a vent as the system is running, you're really not going to feel the air. Now that all that's out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at some data. You can see that the temperature levels were a whole lot more consistent downstairs. You can see that we went from a 5 degree temperature swing throughout the day down to around a 1.5 degree temperature swing. And on the Infinity system, the humidity levels maintained around 50%, going as low as 49%. And it looks like somebody left open a door here, driving up the humidity for a very short period of time to 52%. So if we include this, we're looking at a 3% swing. What's interesting about the Infinity and how it runs is you can see how the system is cycling on and off right here, and it's running at a very low speed. When the system's running, you can see how the lines are fairly horizontal here, and if we take a look over here how much more vertical these lines are, at around 12 p.m. the system was gearing up for a 91 degree day, and it ran non-stop all the way up until 10:30, 11 o'clock. Before it started cycling again. And if we take a look at some of our more troublesome spots, we're going from a high of 77 degrees on our single stage system down to 74 degrees. And on the single stage, the temperatures would go down as low as 69 degrees for a very brief period of time. And over here, it looks like it got down to around 68 degrees. So 68 degrees all the way up to 74 degrees. But the most important thing to note on the single stage system is in between 2 p.m. to 9 p.m., temperatures would range above 75 degrees. And again, that could be times that we're actively using this room, and over here it only reaches 74 degrees, which makes this area a whole lot more comfortable throughout the day. And you can see that the humidity did tighten up some, so it did do a better job being a bit more consistent throughout the day. And if we take a look at the master bedroom, you can see that the temperatures would get just above 75 degrees, and on the Infinity it's staying just below 75 degrees. But the key thing to note here is around 9 p.m. when temperatures drive back down to around 72, 73 degrees, making it a bit more comfortable to sleep. And again, let's not worry about the humidity levels in this room. Now let's take a look at my daughter's room. And this is where we see the biggest improvement out of all of the rooms. Temperatures would get as high as 80 degrees. Now it's not getting above around 77 degrees. Now it's staying above 75 degrees, only in between 2.5 hours. And at 9 p.m. now we're down around 74 degrees, when it was ranging around 77, 78 degrees, making this room a whole lot better for sleep. And once again, we are seeing a decent humidity swing here. And over here, the humidity has smoothed out quite a bit. Now let's take a look at my son's room. Temperatures were reaching as high as 76 degrees, and now they're around 73 degrees. And out of all the rooms, it has the most consistent temperature throughout the day, meaning this room is probably the most properly ducted. We do have a spike in humidity here, which I'm not really sure what that's from. But overall, the humidity swings were about the same, just a tad bit lower humidity with the Infinity.
Okay, so what's my summary and conclusion? Can I say that this system is worth $20,000? Well, I ended up with two different opinions on this. And I'm not going off of the data here, it's just me living in the house. My first opinion was it was just kind of lackluster. And the reason for that is the major improvements that I saw was I was able to get an extra hour of deep sleep at night. And that's because when the AC came on at night, it would wake me up sometimes. And that's because I could hear the doorknob rattle along with the door butting up to the door jamb. And not only that, on the cooler nights when the system wouldn't cycle very often, sometimes it would go from 2.5 to 3.5 hours without cycling. I would end up waking up sweating. But the thing is I can solve that with a single stage system. All I would have to have done was put a return air in that room, along with adding a temperature sensor, so it would end up cycling a little bit more, and that would have fixed a lot of it. Now for opinion number two. I ended up rewiring the HVAC system to a single stage system. And you're only supposed to do this for emergency purposes only. For instance, if you have a bad thermostat and it's the weekend and all the supply houses are closed, then you would do something like this to get you through the weekend. And I was running it this way just for some more tests, and let me tell you, I hated it. Because one of the things I didn't realize as the system was performing as a fully variable was I never thought about my air conditioner. And I think that's where some of the lackluster comes in. After I rewired it, I realized I was thinking about my AC at least 5 to 6 times a day. And then I began to realize I always did even before I was in HVAC. I ended up... The AC. Can never not think about it. Now the cold doesn't bother me all that much, but I don't really like being hot. And there's times throughout the day where I'd be doing something and it's just like, man, I'm hot. I need to turn down the AC. Or working in my office and it just feels stale in there. And it's just like, oh, I need to play with a fan or turn down the AC or something. And I never asked my wife what she thought about the matter because if she doesn't bring it up, obviously it's not important enough for her to want it in her life. She's already asked me 3 different times to rewire the system back up to the way that it was. And the reason why she wants it that way is a little bit different from me. She hates being cold. Because if she was doing something like making sandwiches for the kids and find herself underneath a vent, she would end up going and getting her jacket. Then she'd go upstairs where it's 77 degrees and now you don't need a jacket. So my wife ended up carrying a jacket around everywhere she went. Because if the AC came on and she was under a vent, the cold air would hit her skin and she just doesn't like the way that feels. She's probably been carrying around a jacket her whole entire life and she didn't notice it and neither did I. And when the system is wired up correctly, you never have that. I never get hot and she never gets cold. It's almost like the temperatures just saturate everything where everything just feels good. And I basically never have to think about the AC. Now we'll find out later as things cool off how it does with heating. But from the cooling side of the equation, it actually had a lot bigger impact than I realized. So my opinion now has changed from lackluster to this is pretty impressive. And going back to the question, is a $20,000 system worth it? And my answer is, if it makes financial sense, yes. It's just nice having everything perfect all the time and never thinking about your AC. That being said, there are quite a few more improvements that I can make to get the system to perform a whole lot better. I got a lot more videos coming to see how much better we can make things, along with pushing it outside of factory spec. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, have a good one.
So, did your wife make you sleep on the couch?
It was becoming clear that she was about to, so on Sunday I rewired the system, back the way it was, even though I was running 102, sick as a dog. So, yeah, pretty close.
So she's happy now.
Oh, yeah, she's happy now.
Good.
He hurts. Yes, sweet boy. He just goes, ow. He just says a word of it. That's because it hurts. Like you do. You say ow.
Hey, baby, can you go get my phone?
Sure.